Let's make Bao He Wan. Of course, that's a very famous formula that you could look up the ingredients on Google, on the internet, in your Bensky book. And it's taken for digestive upset. It's a pill, so it can be, prepared in advance and taken as needed. And it's a water pill. So I've made other videos about making honey pills, but this is how you make a so-called water pill. Actually, the category of water pills can include things like vinegar and other liquids, but it's not going to be something thick like honey. So this is some Bao He Wan that I've already made, and I'll tell you, it's really effective. I don't know if you can see these little pills. They're kind of pretty small. So they're not too hard to swallow. You need to swallow a lot of them. So you want to make them pretty small so they're not too hard to get down. I've already got the powder. I have another video about how to powder herbs. So this is the whole formula made up. But now we have to mix it with a liquid and form it into pills. So the first step then is, you don't really have to measure. You can just decide however much you want to make. You always want to retain some powder because you may, if you add too much liquid by mistake, you may want to add some more powder in, or when you're rolling out the pills, sometimes things get a little sticky and you want a little powder, just like you would making pie crust. So this thing here that I have in my hand is a little sprinkler. Can you see? I don't know. It sprinkles the powder. So if I do need to sprinkle some, I have that available. The powder is mixed with some kind of liquid, some kind of light liquid like water. But water alone, the pills can be crumbly and not really want to hold together. Shuiji, who's one of the people I've translated, he says for making this to use like a very watery rice porridge. And so I've made some, I don't know if you can see, there's a lot of liquid on top. You could use flour and water to make a paste. That was often done. Or whatever you want to thicken it and kind of help hold it together. So I have this bit of porridge, and I'm going to try to mostly get the liquid from it and not so much of the solids. I could have strained it, but I didn't. So I'm going to, just add some liquid. When you make Bao He Wan, it doesn't smell bad, but you can definitely smell the live fruits of the radish seed. That's definitely in there. So I'm going to, stir it a little and start mixing it. It's going to need more liquid, but start mixing it in. Let's see if I can pour off a little bit more. Of course, I'm going to make a big mess because I'm a messy person. And you don't want it too moist because then it's sticky and just makes a mess on everything. But also you need it moist enough so that it holds together and that it's not all little cracking pieces. At some point I may be getting some solids in here. Let's see, I have this. Let's try to strain a little more liquid off. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's starting to clump, and actually if I, started using my hands, it may start holding together. I'm going to try a little bit and see. The way I tell is like I put some in my hand and compress it like that, and actually it is very much holding together. So it always seems like you're going to need more liquid, but what I'm going to do is start kneading this and see if it makes a dough and holds together. If it doesn't, I can always add more liquid. I drip some liquid down here, so I want a clean thing to start working. So I'm going to pause for a minute and get a clean thing. Okay, you can either knead it, or you can pestle it. And so I'm gonna kind of try to get it in the pestle. Your hands are definitely going to get a little bit dirty in this. Not dirty, but yeah. Probably needs a little more liquid, but it always surprises me. So let's just do this. Okay, so I've got it all in my my mortar, and I'm gonna just 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so you don't need to hear me counting. That's like 20. And already it's quite changed. Instead of being little crumbly pieces, it's much more holding together. This definitely is a different texture than honey pills, but you're still looking to make a dough that holds together. And you can see I can, compress it into a ball. So I'm going to continue pestling it more. I don't think it's going to need more liquid, but I'll let you know when I come back on. You don't need to see me pestling repeatedly, do you? So, okay, it's been pestled 100 times. So I'm going to pull it out. Note that, it doesn't leave a big mess on my hands. Yeah, there's a little bit, but it doesn't leave a big mess on my hands. That's the texture you want. If it's too wet, it's going to be messy everywhere. So if you don't have a pestle and mortar, or you don't want to, you can always instead work it with your hands, or you could knead it on a board just like you would making bread or something like that. I've made a small amount because I have plenty of this and I don't really need more, but I'm making it to make the video. So there are a number of ways that you can now make the dough into pills. I'm sprinkling a little powder to, prevent it from being overly sticky, which I don't think it is, but there are a couple of ways. One is you could take a little and, roll it out thinner and thinner. And, keep doing this. Oh, one of the things, before I forget, is that the dough will dry out if you're taking a while. So it's always nice to kind of cover it so it's not drying out in the air. Of course, I have less work surface now. So, you could just keep rolling it out till it's about how, the diameter of the pills you want to make. So I'm almost there. And you want to try and get it, even as you can. And put this other little piece back underneath. Yeah, get in there. Okay. And then what you can do is, I have this other board that is, it's got markers on it. So if you're concerned with making each pill the same size, you could, I need to wipe this off. I have something over here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, you could measure. And so like here, it seems like, if I do about I don't know, is that a 1/4 inch? I don't know, but it's got markings. And if I just keep following the markings, then each bit will be about the same size. And then, I cut all of them. But then if you're going to hand roll, you just roll them into a little ball. And I have over here a tray for dehydrating it. I'll show you in a minute. So this takes, you know, a long time, but you could be listening to a podcast or watching TV while you're doing this part. So I'm just making a bunch of little round pills. And they'll dry. And when they dry, they'll become slightly smaller. So I'm going to pause for now and finish this little bit, and then I'll show you some other ways of doing it. Okay, the second method that will be a little bit easier is this thing is a extruder. You can buy them for like $5 on Amazon or whatever. It's I think for working with clay, but it can be used in food. Some of them advertise that they're used in food. So basically, you want to take some of this. And by the way, if the dough does start getting too dry, you can always remix a little bit more liquid in. And you know, roll a piece out, but not so much as before. And you put it, it's a little ugly, isn't it? A little bit more rolling out. Okay. You put it in the extruder, and now, let's put that over there. I always think it's better to kind of compress it a little and let any air out that's in. So I've pressed it down, and now I can go like this. And I've got a nice even shape, you know, even diameter. This is a little thicker. Hope it won't be too big to swallow. It comes with different size holes, and then I can do the same thing, you know, basically cut it into little pieces and roll it. So you don't need to wait for me to do that part. I'm gonna roll this bit, and then I'll come back and show you an even cooler way. So this is a cool device. It's a pill rolling device, antique, and I got it off of eBay. I have a few of them. This is what pharmacists used 100 or 200 years ago, made of wood and brass, I guess. My cat is interested. Okay, time for you to go away. Making pills, I don't need your hair in it. Go. Yeah, so sorry about that. No, get down. Come on, get down. Come on. Down. Get down. Okay, good thing these pills are only for me. Okay, so the way you would use it is you'd take a bit of dough and roll it out enough, you know. Then you put it here and you turn this so it has the flat side, and it's kind of crosswise for me because that's the way I could do it when I'm trying to get the camera, but you use this to roll it back and forth, and actually it's too much. Okay, let's now try this. I've seen people on video do this, and they can be really quick. So you roll it back and forth until, like now it's touching on both sides, so it can't be taller than the, you know, distance in here. And now I've got, it's not quite even, but it's fairly even, a little worm, okay? Then you lay the worm on this brass part as straight as you can, and these teeth kind of align with those teeth. So you put this on top and you roll it back and forth a little bit. And when you do, then I don't know if you could see, some of these came out good, some of these not so good. But I've got these little, you know, a whole batch of pills rolled and cut all at once, and they're relatively round. Okay, there's a thing called a pill rounder, and I've never been able to successfully use it. It's a little disc that has two different depth depressions. This, I think, is the bigger side, and then you're supposed to be able to put the pills in and roll it around. But what happens half the time is they like catch on to each other. I'm not very good at using this thing. If I was better, then you could roll, you know, kind of finish and round off multiple pills at the same time. So the way I actually more frequently would do this is with the extruder again, and then put the snake on there. The extruder is quicker than rolling it with the top thing. So I'm gonna just keep making these pills. There is a place that makes what do you call it, replicas of this, and I can put that URL, you know, in the information about this video. So I'm going to finish rolling these pills, and then it'll be time to dry them, so I'll come back in a while. Let's try it with it facing you. And after I've done it a few times, I've gotten a little better. I only do this like once a year, so I get out of practice. Anyway, so I'm putting this on top, and then I'm just kind of rolling it instead of back and forth. Actually, it works a little better if you just roll it in one direction. So now I've got all these pills pretty quick. And actually, they mostly look good, like they don't need more work to make them smooth and round. So I'm just gonna, you know, make sure one by one that they're okay and put them in the dehydrating tray. So that's how this thing works. Okay. I've got my tray of pills. They're moist. I could just let them air dry, putting a fan on them maybe to help make sure that they dry quickly enough and don't get moldy. But I like to use my food dehydrator so that they're not sitting around with dust and cat hair and stuff. So I'm just going to put this tray on the dehydrator, and I might fuss with the pills a little bit. You know, some have rolled around. Maybe there are too many in one place and they're all touching each other. So get them out of the corners where they may not dry. And then I'll put this on and dry them for a couple hours. Even after that, I probably won't put them in a sealed jar right away because, you know, just in case they're still a little moist, you don't want to seal them up. But that is how I make honey pills. Water pills. This device is really a pretty cool thing. If you are serious about making pills, I would consider looking for one on eBay as an antique, or in this place I'll give you the link that has replicas of them that seem to be, you know, nicely functioning replicas. You can also buy something like this, not as nice, but like this, from Chinese places like Alibaba online. I've never really figured out how to do that, but they have them in all sizes, from tiny pills up to big honey pill sizes. And so one day I'll buy some of those and try them out. But this really makes it go so much quicker. So that's it. And pretty soon I'll have some more Bao He Wan. Yeah, that's it. Well, the pills dehydrated for, I think, 4 hours, and then I let them sit overnight so that the air could continue to dry them, but covered up so dust or cat hair won't get on them. And now they're finished. Yay. Oops. That's not what I wanted. Okay, let's try that. Okay, and now I have to collect all the ones I spilled, but that's basically it. Now I've got some more Bao He Wan.